We need to gather up the stuff, gather up the animals, and be ready to go.
Right.
And he said, I got home, and my wife of a year and a half, I think that's what he said.
It wasn't long.
It's his second, her third.
Marriage?
We now know why.
Okay.
He says, I get home, and she's got everything packed, and I'm like, oh, great, this is awesome. Except for the animals, what she locked in a storeroom with some water and some food.
Oh, what the
Oh my
fuck? No.
God.
And he was like, should I just leave her now?
Yeah.
It was going to be difficult to find a
what
hotel
you do?
room
You
with
open
them
up
in
that
tow.
storeroom, take the animals out, shove her ass in there.
Yeah. If I was him,
I was like, what?
if I was him, I'd be like, well, since you've already got everything packed, why don't you just split your shit in your car, my shit in my car, and I'll take the animals and never see your fucking
And the
ass
I told
again.
Russ, I was like, if you pulled some shit like that with my babies,
Yeah, no.
I would get a
Well,
lawyer.
and
we
here's
would be
the thing.
done.
Yeah.
I thought, my God, what are we talking about? A shit ton of animals? No, it was one dog and two cats.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not like a
One
petting
dog
zoo.
and two cats.
Bitch.
Yeah.
And to leave the,
He's
what
like,
the fuck?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
literally, dude's like,
He's
Yeah.
like, should I just leave
should
her
I
now?
just
Yeah.
leave now?
Yes, you should, because that tells you everything you need to
Yep.
know about that woman's character.
Yeah.
Like,
I was reading that, and I'm like, oh my God.
Now, I've heard that the fires were started by someone doing a gender reveal.
I heard that too.
Yes.
And it wasn't like the ones that shoot off the... What's that
Like
stuff
the
that
Tannerite.
explodes?
Yeah.
Tannerite. This was like one of those smoke bombs. I don't understand how this caused...
Yeah, but
Because
it was
it's so dry and
windy.
like
And windy.
But also,
Okay, but-
California won't
But
allow their...
I don't think it was just like your standard smoke bomb either. I think this was some kind of special thing or homemade thing. Or
it was
something.
one of those things. It was
From
one of
what
those
I read.
situations where it just needed a spark, and it got a spark.
Well, California always needs just a spark.
Yeah,
But, I mean, people are going after them. I'm like, they didn't intentionally set this fire.
No.
It was an accident. They were still there when the firefighters showed up. They didn't just, like,
run off and
intentionally set this fire and take off. And people are just, like, wanting them to hang. And I understand the devastation, but when you got motherfuckers burning shit down on purpose and nothing is done to them,
I saw.
you're going to go after someone who didn't do anything on purpose?
That was in California, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I saw an article on the way over here, and I was talking to somebody on the phone and reading, but there was another in Oregon. Apparently, that was arson too, and
Yeah,
it was literally arson.
Yeah.
A fire investigator did it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
See, he should be held
yeah.
responsible.
He needs to be.
But somebody that...
That's different than an accident.
Maybe what they had, what they were doing wasn't
Yeah, I don't know.
in the norm or something. But still, they did not intentionally
Right, it wasn't
do
a
this.
malicious
They
act.
didn't want to hurt anybody, and people are just going after them. But California's to blame too. They won't let anybody cut like fire breaks in the trees, and they have all of this underbrush that they won't dare touch because
Some fucking reason.
of their
Is it for like animal conservation? What's the reason?
No.
I mean, you can clean that shit out though.
Well,
and
that's what I'm
animals will
saying.
be
I mean,
fine.
what's their fucking?
I don't know, but they won't let people like cut down trees
They
for
don't
fire
wanna
breaks
change
or
the
anything.
environment.
That seems like it's...
So, you know,
yeah, but
they're
when your
partly
environment is prone to
trying to
fucking
kill you.
mass fires...
Yeah.
It's retarded.
They're partly to blame for
I mean,
preventing.
If you know
anything.
you're in a place where wildfires are a problem, you have to do everything you can within reason to mitigate that.
Of course, we also live in a state where it ices over every single year and has for the entirety of history. And every time it does...
Everybody acts like, what the fuck?
Every time it does... The state government says, "Oh, we got caught off guard, motherfucker! It's been doing this for 10,000 years. How long does it take to buy a goddamn salt truck?"
Well, and speaking of, do you know who Paul the Weather Guru is on Facebook?
No.
He's a local guy.
He's a local guy that he posted here.
Let me tell you what.
2 days ago.
Next local guy that falsely claims we're getting a cold front is going to catch these hands.
Well,
They
no.
are rated E for
It
everyone.
ain't that. He posted 2 days ago that it looks like we're going to have another La Nina.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the snow tornadoes.
And well, no, it wasn't just that. He
Just
was
like real
actually
bad
saying,
icy
he's
weather.
saying, look, the last time this happened, during this time of year, blah, 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 99 was the tornado outbreak that wiped out Arkadelphia and all that.
Yep.
He said 2000, two different times in the 2000s were the big ice storms, and he said the most recent one was like 2017 was the heavy snowfall we got.
Oh, good. That's
So
just
he's saying
fucking
expect
fantastic.
cold But
That's weird because I read something that said La Nina was drier and warmer for the winter.
elsewhere, which pushes colder
Other
and
stuff
wetter
here.
to us. That's it, America, because he went
So
on.
icy
He
winter.
went on and explained that too.
Yeah, if you're not
Yeah,
from Arkansas, we don't get much snow.
We
In
get
the winter,
ice.
we get ice storms.
Which means
That's what burns my ass because they won't buy any fucking salt trucks,
Well-
and every time they act like this is the first time in history
well,
it's
mostly
happened.
because everything gets shut down, so
But
no
you
one's
can't
supposed to be
salt.
on the road.
You can't salt truck the trees and the power lines, and
Yeah.
that's the.
No, but you know what you can do? I'm talking to you, Entergy. Run the shit underground.
Yeah.
In Colorado, we had our shit run underground. It got snow every year for like fucking
we
5
always
months.
had electricity.
And only one time in the two and a half,
year-
2 years, something like
Yeah.
that we lived there, only one time did we lose power for maybe 5 seconds. Only once.
And here, it's always like a clear sunny day and the power goes out. We're like, what the fuck?
You know, but when we're having bad weather, you see these fucking energy trucks that are parked over here, and they're paying these guys hundreds of thousands of dollars an hour in overtime when just one project, run the shit underground, be done with it, and you could save all of that money. But, you know, I guess their board of directors can't figure that shit out.
Well, most of them, and I'm not talking just energy, I'm talking utility companies in
Right,
general,
right.
are busy running around fixing shit that they haven't bothered to
And putting
do
in
anything
new
with in the
construction.
last 30, 40 years.
Well, you know, if they ran that
And
shit
do-
underground, they could do it all at the
and
same
do
time.
new construction. Most of the new construction is going underground.
Good.
Right, but you
But-
have all this existing, and
So,
And
like,
they don't have time to go do it because they're fixing problems they've had.
like one year, and I don't remember when it was. It was when she was working at Kroger overnight, and it was right before Christmas Eve. It was like the day before Christmas Eve. Over here on 2nd Street, there was like 15 power poles that went down.
Oh, yeah, they were
Right.
like dominoes. They just all went down.
Yeah.
And instead of
I think it was more like 4.
and
I don't think it was as much as you said.
it was a lot.
Chris
It-
never
It
exaggerates.
took them like fucking 12 hours to get the shit back up. So, I mean, but instead of, you know, oh, there's a problem here. Let's make a note and run that shit underground because there's a bunch of trees there that tend to fall. Nope.
Well, but
Well,
Chris,
but
it's
here's
just
the
like
problem.
it's just like on your
All these
household,
people
you
are
have
out.
to have the budget to redo everything.
As
Well,
much
and
as
it's
we
not
pay
just
them
that.
for electricity, they got the fucking
and it's
budget.
not just that.
And
It's
they could get state
what he's
money,
talking
too.
about. It's knocked down. People are out of power. They're wanting power restored as quickly as possible. It takes time to bury it underground.
No, and I understand that, but they could mark it as a need-to project. You know?
When they ever
Because I know
get
when
to
my shit's out, I want
that's-
it back.
Yeah, me too.
And
Oh,
so
me
That's
too.
the problem. The
fucking
need
possible.
to. They have all this other old shit, like he was saying.
That's
That
Plus the
needs
new
to even more.
construction.
I know
because
somebody
it's
that
falling
worked.
apart.
I know
Well,
somebody
maybe they
that
need
worked,
to hire some more motherfuckers then.
I know
mean,
somebody that worked for ARCLA. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Know somebody.
for a lot of years, and said in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s, they never did any rehab on anything. So now in 2020, the checks come
Everything's
due
falling
for all of
over.
that crap.
yeah, well, that's bad on them.
Yeah, no,
You know?
it is for
and,
sure.
And like this little 1,200 square foot house, I pay $160 a month for fucking electricity, levelized every single month. Actually, 170. And you know, I'm sure that most houses are running about the same. And there's a bunch of fucking houses around here. They got the funds to do this. They just don't because, you know, oh God forbid. So fucking annoying. Whatever. Anyway, what's next on the list?
What about that autistic boy that the police shot?
This
That
is
was
Oh, good
in
God.
Utah.
yeah. That's
Well,
bullshit.
I know that the mother called police.
Yeah, from
what
what-
did she call police
he was
for?
right.
From what I read, she was going back to work after like a year,
Okay.
and he was having really bad separation anxiety, and they go through these raging fits.
Well, just like your pets at home
Yeah.
when they tear up stuff when you leave during the day, it's anxiety.
So
Because,
she called.
you know,
She couldn't get him under control.
Yeah.
She called the police for assistance. She told him he's 13. He's autistic. He's not trying to hurt me. He doesn't have any weapons. I just need help.
I just can't
And
handle
they
it.
came in and just started shooting him.
yeah, I don't understand.
what the hell?
Well,
I don't know.
number one, I don't think the police would be the right people to call.
Who do do you call?
When
Well, I don't know.
at 13, he could have very well been way bigger than her.
Yeah.
Well, that's
but-
just like Brandy has a friend whose son
But if she,
is like 6 foot and he's like 18 and
He's 25 now.
but
I mean, if
he's
she-
like 6 foot something, 280 pounds.
or at least they.
but if she were to call the police, they're going to ask what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If they believe that's not a police situation, maybe EMS can involve. They're going to send them.
Yeah.
So-
I'm sure she called 911.
Yeah.
And someone dispatched to that.
So they're going to dispatch who she needs.
Well, this is another situation where
that's not her judgment call in the midst of a crisis.
Yeah, this is a situation where police need more training, you know, because there should have been at least one of those officers should have been trained specifically for dealing with patients with that type of thing, you know, or not patients, but
People.
yeah, people in situations that involve people with autism
I just keep
and
thinking
stuff like
about
that.
the mother, like how she has to be.
And see, the mother said he was running away. Salt Lake police said they were responding to a juvenile psych episode and had reports that Lyndon, I guess it's the boy, had made threats with a weapon. They haven't yet said whether a weapon was recovered at the scene, so probably wasn't.
Had made threats
I feel
to-
like if they did
Whoa.
recover a weapon,
Had
we'd know.
made threats to who? With
Like
a
his
weapon?
mother.
Probably his mom.
She specifically told them.
That's what I remember hearing.
Wow.
I'm just reading this article. Barton, who said her son was unarmed, so she did say he was unarmed,
Yeah.
had called for crisis intervention help because he was having a breakdown.
Oh, so okay.
She said Lyndon, who has Asperger's, ran from police because he was scared and didn't want to go to the hospital. They know how to deal with people with mental health issues, so you call them, and they're supposed to come out and be able to de-escalate a situation without or using the most minimal force possible. Barton said she told officers her son needed to be taken to a hospital for treatment. I said, look, he is unarmed. He doesn't have anything. He just gets mad and he starts yelling and screaming. He's a kid. He's trying to get attention. He doesn't know how to regulate. When Lyndon ran, one police officer fired. I hear, get down on the ground, get down on the ground, get on the ground, bam, 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 bam.
Oh
That
my
seems
God.
like
What the fuck?
I thought my son was dead, and they didn't tell me he wasn't dead, and they wouldn't let me go to the hospital for like a long, long time.
Whoever did that, those officers, they need to be fired immediately.
He
Can you
has
just imagine the mom's state of mind right now?
he has injuries to his shoulder, ankles, intestines, and bladder.
It's a wonder with that many bam bams he's alive.
I know.
Yeah.
She said, "Why didn't they just tase him? Why didn't they just shoot him with rubber bullets? He's a small child. Why don't you just tackle him? You're a big police officer with massive amounts of resources. Come on, give me a break."
That makes me sick, literally sick to my stomach.
Yeah, that was a lot of bams.
Yeah.
Yeah. For one
And-
unarmed 13-year-old
And
running
again,
away.
in the back, which they're not supposed to shoot anybody in the
yeah,
back.
he was running away, so he was not a threat.
Yeah, a little boy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Jesus.
even if he was running towards them, he's unarmed. Mm-hmm. You don't
Like
use,
you said, why couldn't you just tackle
you
him?
don't use lethal force, which it doesn't matter where the BAMs land. That's lethal force.
Bams are lethal force.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. I mean, she did everything right. She told him he doesn't have a weapon. He just needs help.
Yeah.
You know,
She didn't know what else to
And
do.
they come
and
in
she
just
did
shooting?
what we tell people to do, and then this shitstorm occurs, and her kid and her have the fallout. And I just, like, her state of mind must be so fucked up right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can only imagine.
Like, every time I hear one of these, I think back to that guy that called in the welfare check on his neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
That old man.
and they-
he was just like...
And the fucking cop shot her through the window.
Yeah, and he was like, I wish
which
I'd never
you
called.
don't fucking do.
You know, because
yeah, I bet he felt so.
Oh my god, you could just see it on his. He was just crying. I wish I'd never called. You know, I can't help but
And then
think
at
of
the
that.
but you know at the same time he was probably scared to go over there in case
Right.
there was
someone.
something wrong. He didn't want to get hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
God.
It's sickening. It's literally.
See, and like I said, that's one of those things where you don't need to defund the police. They need more funding.
training.
Yeah, exactly. So they can have adequate training. Those fucking cops probably get 2 hours of training on that shit every year.
If that.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
that's the thing. Like, I'm not I'm not giving these guys a pass for
No,
don't even.
no, because even if you don't have training with that type of situation,
That's just common fucking sense.
You have training on when to use lethal force and when not to.
Well, and you know, I don't think most of us need to be trained on you don't shoot unarmed to 13-year-olds. So I'm not
In the
giving
back.
them, I'm not giving them a pass, but I am saying if we're going to hold them to higher standards, which we should,
You need to train them to higher standards.
right? They have to have the backup so that they can